Hey VC, Jeff here. So yes, I wanted to jump on some of these contests. A lot of these are building up, and I'm missing out on some of these. I've been trying to keep up with some of them, but hadn't done one in a while. So I'm going to jump on this one today. This is for John over JC's Rockin' Metal Reviews. Now, he just hit 500 subscribers, and so he's having a contest. And basically, it's real simple. He wants to see an Iron Maiden album, and I assume it's mainly because their new album just came out and he was about to do a review of the newest album, so he kind of mentioned that. And so I could show that because obviously I recently got that too. I think all of us in the Iron Maiden fans in the metal world probably got that. I'm going to go a different route though, and also he wanted to hear 3 shoutouts. And looking at other channels that have, he was like under 400 subscribers. The ones I picked were even, lower than that, because there are a lot of new names that pop up in the VC, and it's not always easy to find them unless somebody does recommend them or somebody mentions them or they have a contest and they get seen by another channel that has more subscribers. So that's kind of what these contests are about, is to spread the love, let other people know about other channels, and just, let people be aware and get some exposure. So anyway, so let's jump into this. I'm going to show Iron Maiden's Number the Beast. Now, he just said show an Iron Maiden album. It could be anything. Now, the reason I chose this is because this is where I started in the Iron Maiden world. As far as when I first learned about them would have been when this album came out in 1982. I was in high school and we had this album. I actually had a picture disc album of this because back in the day we collected picture discs. Yes, we didn't listen to them a lot. They were more collector things. We put them on our wall. But the funny thing that reminded me of this, about this story and about that picture disc, my friend had a copy of the picture disc too. And I cannot remember the exact reasoning, but something about the picture disc playing it, I don't know if it skipped, something made him mad, and he flung that picture disc, not really at anybody, just flung it, and it hit the wall, bam, and bounced off the wall. I mean, I don't think I was like ducking for my life, but it was just funny. It hit, bam, and it left a dent in the wall, just the size of a record. It left like a dent in the wall, and that dent was there, for the whenever. I don't think it was ever fixed, so we always saw that, and it was kind of a memory of that time where he kind of lost his cool and chucked his Iron Maiden. It didn't break the disc; those things are pretty sturdy, and it didn't break it or anything, and it just dented the wall. That was kind of funny. It's just, that's for some reason a memory that sticks out. Now, this album, when it came out, we just loved it. It was great. It was Bruce Dickinson's first appearance. And that's when I went back and listened to the Paul Di'Anno years. Now, at that point in my life, this was a little more what I would call metal. The other albums were a little raw. And most people do consider them to be more of a punk edge. And I would say probably at that time in my life, I preferred this sound over that. Now, I love the first 2 albums. And I love all the Bruce Dickinson stuff. So it's all great. But back then, we were young and everything. So the one thing I think odd about this is the album. So this would have been the album where Iron Maiden kind of got labeled with the term The Beast. So they had albums out before this that, they've always had Eddie. But now everything with Iron Maiden after this tends to be labeled, The Beast, or, they just have a lot of that name and imagery that, goes along with their band. This album itself is not, it is the Number of the Beast, which is a biblical term, and it's, it's got this whole Satan image on the cover, and it's got a song about the Number of the Beast, which is not really a, satanic song. It's a song about a story about a guy who runs across a sacrificial type right in the woods or whatever, kind of scary stuff, horror movie type stuff. But of course, it gets labeled that way. The other thing funny about it, in my opinion, and I've mentioned this in a previous video, is when I talked about this, the Number of the Beast, on here they've got the Number of the Beast, and we assume that the Beast is referencing the devil. So you've got Eddie with the strings puppeting the strings to the devil, with the puppeting the strings to Eddie. But in the Bible, the Beast is a man. It's a man's number. It is a human number. It says it right on the album, 666, the Number of the Beast. It is a human number. So There's no devil. There's no beast. The beast is not the devil. It's not synonymous for that. The beast was a human, and that, it's not. Anyway, so it's just kind of, just kind of weird how the religious stuff gets kind of goofed up and wrongly applied. And so now everything with Iron Maiden has, is gone with this whole satanic imagery, which they are not. They are not at all. But solid album, great album, still to this day one of my favorites. So enough of that. The 3 shout-outs, I'm going to go with some, maybe you haven't heard of them, and that's what the whole point is to, give you some awareness. Area 312 Rock and Metal Podcast. Now, who is Area 312 Rock and Metal Podcast? Area 312, the area code 312 is Chicago. Area 312 is a song from an album by a band called Resurrection Band from the Chicago area. They had a ministry there, Jesus People USA. It is a Christian-based podcast. And what they've done, it's Rex and Kent. I was on a show with them once before they made this change. They had another channel, and I appeared on there. We were talking just about Christian rock and metal. So it does have that kind of a bent to it. But what it is with Area 312 Rock and Metal Podcast is they are interviewing different people. They interview, people like Glenn Kaiser from the Res Band. But it's going to be of a Christian nature, Christian artists, Christian rock, Christian metal. Cool stuff. They got Mike, another one of their friends, pastor guy who has been on the show with them too, and they kind of just do interviews. A lot of interviews with a lot of different people. They had 10 games on there from Striper. They've had all kinds of people. Anyway, check them out. Area 3. I'm going to put a link to these 3 shoutouts below. So yeah, check them out. Area 312 Rock and Metal Podcast. Okay, next up is the channel Female Metal Fan. Fan of female metal. Anyway, he shows a lot of stuff. It is a guy. It's not a female metal fan. He is a male. Anyway, he shows a lot of metal, and melodic, power, stuff like that. It's not like it's a lot of death and stuff like that. He's done a recent video on Overkill, things like that. It's all kinds of metal. So for metal lovers, check it out. He's got like less than 100 subscribers. He's been doing videos for a short amount of time, but female metal fan, check out the site there. That's going to be my second one. Third one is Flat, Round, and Spun. Trevor over at Flat, Round, and Spun he's had a channel for a little over a year. He's done videos, a handful of videos every couple weeks maybe is his consistency. Trevor does deal mostly with rock, metal, punk, things along that line. He's got some variety in there, but a lot of the stuff that I've been watching it does gravitate towards the rock and metal along that line. So Flat, Round, and Spun, check out that. So that's going to be my 3 shout-outs. That's for John over at JC Rock and Metal Reviews and his 500 subscriber contest. There'll be a link to his channel. There'll be a link to the 3 channels that I mentioned below, so you can check them all out, subscribe, like, do all that stuff, and see if you make some new friends. That's all for now. I'll be back with more contest entries because there's a couple I want to get onto. Thanks a lot for holding this one, John. We will see you all later. Rock on and rock hard.